This is the 5 Point Play podcast, the diehard Duke basketball fans podcast. No, this is not Fox Hoops. They stole the music from us.
Correct.
Not yet. We're about to
Correct.
be.
They stole it from us.
They
And I
stole
think he
from
means
us.
NBC, but I like where he's going with this, folks.
Well,
Let's
hey,
go.
if you watched the game on Saturday night, and I hope that no Illinois fans watched it because that was one of the absolute clinics, beatdowns, eviscerations, destructive performances I've ever seen in my entire life. That was unhealthy if you're an Illinois fan to watch that. I feel bad for them.
I
Wow.
don't.
What a performance. What a performance. Nobody wants to see their kids beat that bad. Like that's just that's sad. We got AC, the founding father. We got Jack here on the ones and twos. Do we have to stop saying it, Jack? Like Libby's not returning your calls. Is that
Pulled a Paul Skeens card in my
Oh.
latest Tops box. So
all right? And
Do
the
you, do
fan is
you
back.
are you Jack? Are you wearing the same jacket that you have draped over the side beside you?
no, they're two separate things from home field.
I was gonna
Code
say,
Duke
like,
They are-
15 on your
they
first
are
purchase
some-
for 50% off.
Send
By
me-
the way,
if you got
They
two
are
extras,
some right.
send me one. Sheesh.
All right,
I'll give you my discount code though.
We're always selling. I love that. Love that. Always selling. The Duke fan, always controversial. He's back. And then Sam from the Unintentional back again. Sam, look, man, what more can be said than what Duke did against Illinois on Saturday night in the Garden? I mean, that was as good of a performance that I've seen a college team put together in a really, really long time. What's your take?
I judge my Duke games on whether or not I'm in the hot tub before the end of the game, and I was in the hot tub before the end of the game.
Yes, sir.
So
I
they're
think
great.
the starting five was
great.
too.
Yeah, I mean it's like I said, there's not much to be said. It was an ass kicking, and it's fun to watch as a Duke fan. Illinois, it shows you there's a gap between Duke and a lot of these teams that they're playing, like a very, very large gap.
Yeah, there's no doubt about that, AC. You always take the contrarian view. D always takes the negative view. Jack always takes the positive view. And I always take the correct view. So, AC, I'll give you.
Excuse me.
I'll take.
That is crazy.
You always take the positive view. So I'm gonna say that AC, I'll give you the first one here. Like obviously we're all joking about it, but the way that Duke played was, I mean, it reminded me of '99. When we were at the peak of '99, there was just nothing. I don't care if Illinois has sickness or injuries or anything like that.
Yeah.
What Duke did offensively and defensively, it was like varsity playing the 8th grade team.
Sure. I mean, there was an enormous gap. It's like when we talk about, you can see the best player on the floor when you watch them up close. Like when we talk about Jason Tatum and countdown and Cooper Flagg this year, countdown and everything else, you could see who clearly was the best team on the floor. And I'm wearing the shirt today because I'm like,
Thank you.
I'm done because online I'm done with the realism. I'm done with we need to look at what can beat this team. I'm done with this team can't do this stuff. Like, this is the best team in the country and it's not even close. And I don't like we're done. Like it's end of February. We're going into March. If it hasn't happened yet, it's probably not changing. So cool. We'll leave it as it is. We work with what we got and we have our rotation. We have this and that. We're going to get Malik Brown back. We didn't even have him playing. Like this is the best team in the nation. It's not close. You can do the mental gymnastics as analysts or as Twitter dummies all you want. And try to come up with negatives about this team and why they're not going to win and freshmen and this and not schedule not hard enough. Shut up. Like, I don't give a fuck. I don't. Strength schedule, I don't give a fuck. Analytics, I don't give a fuck. Your mom, I don't give a fuck. You know what I mean? Like, I'm done, dog. Like I'm done with it. Like cool. Like, say what you like. Bring it on. Bring it to the comments. Like, say what you want. Like, you sound dumb. And when this team is winning in March and wins the national championship, you're gonna sound even dumber. So I'm done. I'm done with let's figure out what's wrong with this team. So I don't care, man. This team is that shit out of a D1 team that's Power 5 and supposed to be in the tournament. Like, come on, man.
I'll tell you what, Jack, that a lot of the conversation, even leading up to the game, obviously, and it's been like this for a couple of weeks, is the Johnny Broom versus Cooper Flagg comparisons, and they The famous one, I guess, or the
I don't give a fuck about that.
is, no, that's not I'm going to Jack. But like we have the really small stat comparisons, and I'm coming to you with this one because you're a stat guy. And
Yeah.
all they show is points per game, rebounds, and and it's like, okay, well that's clearly not even showing the full picture.
Field goal percentage.
Can you please break down for the folks at home, and the avid listeners, how would you respond to prove if the fact that you would have to prove, but that shows that it's not even a contest at this point because it should not be a contest.
I saw an idiot on Twitter after the game on Saturday who just straight up compared their stat lines for Saturday. Janai Broom and Cooper Flagg played against teams with similar records. Georgia and Illinois are both 16 or 17 and 11, something like that. And Janai Broom had more points, a few more rebounds, less assists than Cooper.
In 12 more
But
minutes.
he also played like 36 minutes. Cooper played 23. Cooper played 23 minutes because his team was up 45.
I got you, Jack.
In large part,
Like,
we're gonna put this dude on blast.
Yeah.
Real quick.
Also, thank you.
AU Atlanta, Beckett hits. Put you on blast, motherfucker.
Come on, man. Come on, man.
Really hate to see that from the Duke 5 Point Play podcast.
No.
But hey, here we are.
No, that's not it. That's not it. This guy's a Falcons fan, so he doesn't really have much to live for other than Auburn right now. So,
and they'll be irrelevant.
I'll give him
year.
that.
They're here this year, and they'll be gone next year.
You can live with this. Just understand, Cooper's gonna win. Cooper's gonna win the championship. Also, like I do not care.
Yeah,
I genuinely do not care how you feel. Context is important. Also, not to mention, Janai Broom missed a few games, and Auburn still won. If Coop missed a few games, Duke was not going to keep winning. Cooper provides so much more value. The intangibles, the things that don't go into the stat sheet, the defense. Like he's just a better player than Broom. I'm sorry if you don't agree with me. You're wrong. Like, come on now. Think critically.
Yeah, think critically is right. And there's nobody more critical than D the Do fan. Dustin, you haven't been on in a couple of podcasts, so I'm gonna just give you a couple minutes here to say whatever you want.
I appreciate that. The game against Illinois, awesome, right? Duke won by 40 plus, but is it crazy to say that I wasn't impressed?
No, I mean for our
listeners,
it would not be.
Is it
for our
crazy to
listeners?
say
It
that I
wouldn't
wasn't
be.
impressed? Like, but
Who
is
cares?
that Duke that good, or Illinois is this that down on their luck right now?
Oh, sure. They're sick and they're injured, and it never counts for Duke.
Yeah,
we lost to Clemson.
I get that.
We lost to Clemson with Mason Gillis out and Cooper Flagg sick,
That's
but that
fine.
don't matter
I get
because
that.
we have flaws. But Illinois, everybody was sick, so that's worth 50 points.
I
Whatever.
understand, but that's
Don't
not.
give a fuck.
I don't either. I'm just saying.
As I
watch that game, I'm like, is this Duke just playing that well, or is it Illinois being not that great?
Could it be both?
Yes,
I think it's both.
Probably, I think it could be a little bit of both. And then going back to what Jack said, I mean, yes and no. Like I want to agree, but then it's like we missed a lot of open shots. There was some rebound issues. There was some free throw issues that I don't like.
What are we doing?
You talking about this game or just overall?
Yeah, I mean, this game particularly, but because you have to play a complete game in March, you have to.
This team played a complete game.
That was as complete a game.
Are you trying to say they didn't play a complete game? Are you serious? Wait. No. Stop. Everybody else stop. I'm asking D. You didn't think we played a complete game?
You have to nitpick something.
No, you don't. And if you're John Shire, you don't nitpick this game. You might pick some things out in video, and you might pick some things out in film, but you won't take the team.
No. Went over one.
You don't take the team to the video room and say y'all suck. You can't do this right. No, you don't.
I didn't say that.
No, you don't. You're saying we didn't play a complete game. That's a wild statement. I'm sorry, that's a wild statement. I agree with you last time when we talked about UNC. I just don't agree this time. I truly don't agree with this time. This was such a complete beatdown from top to bottom. You don't need to be impressed. It's fine if you don't. We just beat another D1 team that's Power 5 that's going to an NCAA tournament by almost 50. So be impressed or not, we still did it. You can't take it away from that team. So
let's give D a minute here to explain himself, and then without cutting him off, explain yourself, and then we're going to go around the horn.
All I'm saying is All I'm saying is, was this a Duke is that much better than the rest of the population in college basketball, or is this Illinois not being as good as we thought they were actually as good as? Is all I'm saying.
Right. And so I guess I'm gonna keep it here. So all I'm gonna do is ask a question to you. Answer your own question.
I don't know. I mean that's to be determined because we
You
haven't
so you
played.
walked away. I guess what I'm asking is like, did you walk away from that saying, "I'm not sure if it was one or the other," or
I walked away from that game saying there's a, a handful of schools that could have done the same thing to Illinois that day.
okay? So that leads
But
me to
I'm not.
believe then.
That's not
Right.
taking anything away from Duke. I'm just saying, is it Duke that good, or is it Illinois not that good?
Right. So you were excited, but you weren't 100% sure that it was actually Duke just being
Well, of
fucking
course, I was
dominant.
excited, and I want Duke to continue to perform, and so on and so forth. But I mean, if we're gonna nitpick here, like
You just
is
weren't
it
you weren't
Duke
100.
that is it Duke that good, or is Illinois falling off that hard?
Right. Okay. All right. So
Okay.
Sam,
Can,
you're the
oh,
guest here, so I'll go to you here. Dee, pose that question, and I'll let you kind of respond um, on which you think the answer is.
I mean, I think it's both. Obviously, we knew Duke was a better team than Illinois, and then you get even if they both played average games, Duke was going to win by 20-ish, right? Most likely. Duke shot really well. Illinois shot like shit. So that's why you get a 43-point game, right? 43.
yeah.
So yeah, it's a combination of both. I'm plenty a skeptic on things and always trying to find out, all right, what's going to beat us? What's the bad thing? Like, kind of like AC said, I don't think this was the game to do it. I would have walked away. Like, I went in the hot tub and I was enjoying my night. I was like,
Fair
this
enough.
seems really, really good. There's plenty of other games, I think, like when they shoot, maybe 30% from three. All right, now let's worry. But they shot 50.
52.
They shot
So
52% from three.
52%
Like,
and 75% from the line, and 52% from three, 55% from the field.
they did exactly what we wanted. I would like to think we'd all want that. And what I think is really important is they did it in a venue that is high level and a lot of great atmosphere. So you get these kids, these young kids that have, and I know Cooper and Con have played in. Con's never played Madison Square Garden. I think Cooper probably has, but like it gets them that feeling of like big March Madness type game, and they killed it. Like there's no fear. There was nothing that I would have been like, oh, I'm worried about this team in March. I'm not worried at all.
Yeah. Jack, I'll go to you because I do want to talk a little bit of the stats, and certainly, um, the
You want to talk
stats.
about how the environment was?
Well, actually, that's actually going to be part of my question to you. But actually, so what I wanted to talk to you about is twofold. Is the first part though was stats related. The stats related was honestly the ones we just kind of touched on, the high level box score stats. But because you're an analytic guy, after the game and kind of where we are now, Ken Palm and all those net ratings, all that stuff that I know D doesn't like, but like we we are kind of in very rare territory in all those. So kind of just talk about what you see in the eye test versus also what you're kind of analyzing when you look at the stats.
So I will say, I mean, the eye test kind of matched the stats on this one. In the first half, Illinois shot 15 of 18 from two, but 0 of 16 from three, which kind of matched with Duke was playing pretty good perimeter defense, but completely giving up the paint. That made sense. That's what happened. That's how it felt. AC, I want you to go back up to the top. I saw some of the O rating, D rating stats for both teams. It's above Illinois, like all the way up. The team stats. One more.
At the top.
Yeah, right there. Four factors. So look at this. Effective field goal percentage, which takes into account twos and threes and weighs them differently. Threes are weighed as 1.5 times as much as a two. Illinois shooting 39.3%, Duke 63.9%. Duke with a much better turnover rate. The offensive rebounding rate was ridiculous. Free throws per field goal attempt, Illinois was better there. But Duke also forced a lot of turnovers, and had some better luck on the and skill on the offensive glass, leading to more field goal attempts. The offensive rating, Illinois was scoring less than 100 points per 100 possessions in that game. Duke was scoring 146 points per 100 possessions. That is insane. Absolutely insane. It was a lot of fun. And, yeah, D said, you can nitpick a few things. Yeah, the 2-point defense, not my favorite, but they shot 2 for 26 from 3. I looked at this. Illinois, as a team, their 3-point percentage for the season dropped by a full percentage point after that game because of how
Yeah.
poorly they shot from deep. That's not just because they had an off shooting night. The Duke defense forced a lot of that. Like
This game,
there's a lot of balance here. What's up,
go
D?
ahead, Jack. No, I said go ahead. I didn't mean to interrupt. I had a
No,
fire
you're
truck
good.
coming behind me.
No one scored more than 17 points. Duke had 0 20-point scorers. Like everyone was contributing everywhere. Like look at the true shooting. Khan with a 75.4 true shooting. That's really good. That takes into account free throws and 3-point attempts, or I guess 3-point makes and free throw makes in your shooting. And that's really good. Khan had an incredible game.
Here's 2 things I'll say, Jack. I didn't mean to interrupt you. I just want to get it before the other siren comes through. I love the way they played offense against that drop coverage of Illinois. I
Yes.
think Tyrese got downhill a lot. I think Caleb Foster had a good game, quite honestly.
He did.
But take away the 18 points that Isaiah Evans scored in 17 minutes. In my opinion, Duke has to find a better way to get easy buckets other than counting on somebody to get hot.
Okay.
Why would you take that away? Because it's a part of this offense.
I didn't say take it away. I'm just saying
You just said take it away.
count.
You literally just said take away his 18 points.
AC, I think what D is trying to say is that we can't rely on
Yeah.
But we don't.
Isaiah to always get hot. And I think we don't.
If you take away those points from Isaiah Evans.
Say it again.
If you take away those Isaiah Evans quick points, 18 and 17 or 17 and 18 or whatever it was.
17.
In 18
we
minutes.
Still win. You take his points away, we still win by 25.
It's true.
Okay.
26.
I'm just saying Duke needs to find better ways to score quicker points than relying on somebody just getting hot.
Can I ask you this, though, on that note, though? As long as we're talking about
How's that crazy, AC? How's that
dying
crazy?
right now. I'm dying right. So that's the only way we get. Are you saying that's the only way we get quick points in this offense? I'm genuinely asking you a question because I want to understand what you're saying before I start rebuttaling. You said we have to find another way to do it. So I'm asking you, do you feel like that's the only way we get those points?
No.
Because I heard what you said. You said it multiple times. I'm asking questions.
Can I ask a question? And it might be a little bit.
I'm going back on mute.
Okay, all right. So here's my question about that. And, I agree with actually what AC's saying, but I want to give D a chance here. So the way that the offense is being run in ways that gets certain people open. And Isaiah was being run for, but it wasn't just Isaiah that they were running the sets for. So when they're doing those floppy sets and doing those different screens, Isaiah was getting open, but he was hot, so you always throw it to the hot shooter. But also there were alternatives. The defense has to counter for one or two things. They weren't countering for Isaiah, so they went to him. So I'm not sure. So my point, I guess, is to me, it looks like schematically, John calls out the perfect offense, and you got to cover one or two things. Which one are you going to do? Because when they do the same thing for Khan, and then Khan, and Sam can chime in on this because I'm sure that he watched all those, is that when Khan does the flappy and then they do the pick and roll, he's able to drive, and they have to collapse on him, and he's able to throw the lob up to Khaman. So I guess my point is that we just have to kind of discount the fact that Isaiah was hot as shit pause, shooting the ball, or do we just say, hey, man, that offense was really fucking good?
I don't think you can rely on that type of shooting night in and night out. That's
That's my
all I was
point.
saying.
Right, but that's my point is like the offense is set up, and I think J-Man did a really good job of breaking this down, but like,
He did.
you're looking at 3 or 4 different options on every single read. So whether Isaiah's hot or not, or Khan's hot or not, like it doesn't make any difference. Like the read is the read, and the defense has to pick and choose which way they're going to go on that. And yeah, the fact that Isaiah is hot, you're screwed. Like if Zay's hot, like you're screwed because then you have to put someone there, and then that opens up everything else. That's why that's
Just surprised
why
the hell out of me.
so many layups. Like they were just quick layups because you had to then respect the three, and now you can't you can't do both. So you have to respect the three. So then he goes back door, pause, and he goes on for the layup. Like I guess that's what I'm saying. I guess my point again is schematic plus talent. You're done. You're done at that point. Like if you have talent plus schematics, it's over. Go ahead, AC. Come off mute, man.
It's my turn now. No, I'm genuinely asking the question about when I say, do you feel like that's the only way this team gets quick points, based on your statement, D?
No, I said they need to find a way to get other quick points.
So do
Or
you think
Isaiah or for
so
the
my
team?
question is, do you think they
Both.
don't get quick points anywhere else? Do you think Isaiah Evans is the only place this team gets quick points? That's my question. I'm asking it explicitly.
No. But I think we both seen this team get stagnant early in games, early in halves, coming out of timeouts. Right or wrong?
I don't know if we've seen it
I don't know
lately.
what to do about that.
I
I
don't think
think
that's right.
I think it's become less of an issue of late.
This is the most competitive Duke team we've had in 20 years. It's one of the best Duke teams we've had in 40 years. There's literally no weaknesses. You can nitpick whatever you want to nitpick, but some of the things that you are saying are actually factually not correct because we do get quick points other places with lobs to Khaman Maluach, with the Knipple and Cooper Flagg play, 2-on-2 man play. We get a lot of quick points from Tyrese Proctor on his flare screens. He runs almost some of the same flare screens that Isaiah Evans runs, and teams still can't stop it because we have too many options on this team to score the basketball. You are asking other teams, just like you can discount our stuff all we want. You can say discount Isaiah Evans points, take away Cooper Flagg's points if you want. Okay, we don't do that to other teams when we talk about how are they going to beat Duke, right? So when we go in the March, we're going to talk about a bunch of teams. How are they going to beat Duke? We're not going to discount the fact that one of their dudes could go hot one day because that's a part of the game plan. That's a part of the action. We beat Auburn because of it. We beat Auburn because Isaiah Evans was getting quick points. And it's not the only way we do it, but it's a helpful way to have it. Like, yes, he can miss every single.
The other half of that comment, AC, was me saying I love the way they got downhill against that type of defense that Illinois
That's why I
was
don't
throwing out there.
understand why
that
you're
drop
saying we
coverage.
can't get quick points in other places.
I'm
Because
just
you're
saying
saying
we can't.
on one side you say we do it, and then on the other side you say we don't. I'm just
We
confused as to
don't want to
why
rely on somebody getting
we're not
17 and
relying on
18.
Isaiah Evans. We haven't relied on him but one game. There's one game we relied on him being able to get us back
It was
into a
one
game,
half.
and it was
Yeah, it
one
was
half,
one
and it
half.
was awesome. And that's it. That is the one time we have asked that of him, and that was his first game playing. That was the first game all season that he played meaningful minutes outside of blowouts. Like, so no, we don't rely on that with this team. That is not something we rely on. It's a part of the equation that makes this team so good. You asked if it was Illinois being bad or Duke being good, and everybody's saying both. It's because Duke is that damn good.
They caused them to do that.
I agree with that, TK.
Yeah, and so Sam, I want to bring you in here because I mean this is turned into a 5-point play, takeover. But Sam, obviously you're very close with the Knipples. And one of the things I wanted to really bring up on this podcast is the play of Con Knipple. I thought he was phenomenal in this game. Absolutely phenomenal. And like you look at the stat sheet and it's like, 15 points, 4 boards, 2 assists. Doesn't really jump out at you, right? But I thought he set the tone early. He set the tone often. And then the other thing I want to talk about Khan is his just absolute willingness to do everything on the floor every single night. He's the first one on the floor. He's the first one to ever for every loose ball. Talk about Khan and kind of how he set the tone in this one.
Let me first go back to the Isaiah Evans things. I want
Sure.
I want to say this. I don't think we rely on him or rely on it. It's just something that happens. Like even the Auburn game, it wasn't like they were like, all right, well, we got to get Isaiah to win this game. It happened. It's just organically happens. So and this is nothing against Evans, if he wasn't on this team, I wouldn't feel any different about this Duke team. I think that they would still win the national championship. So, with Khan, I think we talked about it in Spaces AC on Saturday after the game. I'm like, and even going back to the previous game, I've never seen him play harder than he's played like these last two games. And he plays hard all the time. It's not to say that he wasn't playing hard, before, but it seems like he's on the floor more. It seems like he's crashing the boards more. And on Saturday, you saw, like, I think a lot of people thought, and I know it's been mentioned, but a lot of people thought going into this year, especially after the videos in the summer, was like, oh, he's a spot up shooter. He's just a spot up shooter. That's all he can do. And then you see him against Illinois. He takes 2 threes, but it's like every time he saw someone that was smaller on him, it's like, I'm just going to the rack. I'm just going to use my body and my size, and I'm scoring. And that's that's like the Khan that I've known. Before he committed to Duke, I've known him for years. Like, that's how he plays. He's got that old man game that, if you want to let him shoot 10 threes a game, so be it. But he's got obviously the ability to take it to the rim whenever he wants because of his size,
Yep.
Yeah, I think, Sam, the other thing, though, is, to your point, is that, he was 1 of 2 from 3. Great. But, like, he does whatever. Like, I think it's the cliche. But for him, it actually makes sense that the game comes to him. Like, he understands every matchup that he has, and he plays into it. Whatever the matchup calls for, that's what he does. And I think that's why, because here's the other thing. I'll give it to you this, like, is that, especially early in the year when Isaiah went off against Auburn, there were so many, Twitter trolls and Duke fans and all these other people that are like, oh, well, he should be taking Khan's minutes. And, uh, you know, how can you have a lightning model like that and keep him on the bench? And it was all for Khan's minutes when in reality is like what you saw against Illinois is a perfect summation of why Khan is on the floor for the 35 minutes a night he is. It's because he understands the game so well, and he does whatever it takes. And to your point, I guess, as well, is like the last 2 games. And I say I guess because I always feel like he plays really hard.
Yeah, I mean, that was the one thing I said from the start was he's going to play because John's going to trust him. Like,
Yeah.
he's going to be on the court because he makes mistakes, right? No one's free of mistakes,
Sure.
but he almost always makes the right basketball play. He's not concerned about shooting 8 threes a game. If it's 2 threes, it's 2 threes. If it's none, he'd shoot none. He does what's best for the team and what's best for this team to win.
Yeah, Jack, I'll say this, and as long as we're talking about Khan, is that, we talk about Mason Gillis a lot and what Mason Gillis brings to this team. I feel like Khan is kind of like a better version of Mason Gillis at a younger age.
Yeah, he really is like a guard version of Gillis, but he's a lot more refined scorer inside the arc. Like being at this game, getting to see Khan play in person against a team that was not the team he played for. It was my first time seeing the team in person since Countdown. It was special. Like the way he bullies anyone who is basically, as long as you're not 6'8" or taller and like broad shouldered, he's going to be able to back you down and get an easy 2 points. Or he can step out and shoot the three. Like it's incredibly impressive. And it's been incredibly impressive on TV all year, but just seeing it in person, like you can see how I've talked about how deliberate he is with his ability to control his movement. It's just so much more impressive to see that in person. He's truly just I'm gonna say one of those words that everyone uses to describe white players, but I mean it. I mean it unironically. He is just so incredibly cerebral with his game, and it is genuinely a pleasure to watch it.
Yeah, AC. I think the
That's
other
to speak
thing.
so well of basketball analysis.
Well, I always felt like the white
Sneaky.
You
people.
know what I'm
Yeah.
trying to say when I
Yeah.
say that, though, right?
Well, the white people thing
I
was
know, I
I'm
know,
always
I
not
know.
trying to
I'm,
call
I'm
people
joking. I
white.
know what you're saying.
the white people thing was always he lacks lateral quickness.
He's
So like
always
that
in the
was
gym.
Sneaky as
First guy
well.
in, last guy out, real
Mm-hmm.
lunch pail, gym rat kind of guy.
right.
Yep. All
The other thing I want to talk
all
about
that.
real quick with UAC is Pat. Hey
Can I just
Pat,
say
like
one thing about Khan?
yeah, absolutely.
It's very rare you see a lottery pick diving on the floor for the first body on the floor for a loose ball. Very rare. I don't care if it's Duke. I don't care
Mm-hmm.
if it's UCLA. I don't give a fuck who it is. It's very rare you see a lottery pick being the first body thrown on the floor for a loose ball. So um, shout out to Khan just for having unlimited hustle. There was a game, I don't think it was the Illinois game. It might have been the Wake Forest game where he dove for a loose ball, grabbed it while he was turning over on his back and tossed it to Cooper Flagg like in the same motion. Like that's just hustle. That's just heart. That's just know-how. I mean, what can you say about Khan that he hasn't shown us this year? I mean,
He's
he's
been
a
special.
lottery pick. He's a lottery pick,
Incredible.
and he deserves every bit of the accolades.
There's no question. And so I kind of wanted to shift gears a little bit to UAC about Big Pat. Again, this is the second time this year, right, that Mason's out. Actually, not Mason. Malik's out, and he
Mm-hmm.
steps in and plays really well. And obviously, the
Yeah.
defense is never going to be comparable, right? Like there's only one, Malik around defensively. But talk about what Big Pat does, and 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 what he's trying. I don't want to get into like the futures of it. I don't want to talk about him and Cam Boozer. I don't want to talk about it. I just want to talk about right now
Nope.
because if Malik's on for a
Of
while, let's
course.
say he's on for next year, whatever. Talk about what Big Pat can do for this team and how
The one, the biggest thing that he adds that we didn't, not that we didn't have before, but it hasn't been a true strength the way it should be with our interior guys is his rebounding ability. Like he's the best big man rebounder that we have on the team, and his minutes, as short as they may or may not be, his rebounding rate is really high, and it's created a lot of extra possessions for Duke while he's been in games. One of the reasons why his plus minus is so high with limited minutes is the fact that when he touches the floor, he creates the extra possessions for Duke that some of the other guys just don't. Like Malik Brown he's not a rebounder. That's not his game. Khaman Maluach, he's just starting to kind of frame into that big rebounder that we need the last 5 games that we've played, or 4 or 5 games that we've played. So he's starting to round into shape to that, to what you want out of that. But Pat Ngongba gives us something different with our bigs in that he adds that element to the team as a post border.
So the last thing I'll say about this one is there's no way that we're going to play this well ever again.
Sure,
But the
that's fine.
fact that we have the ability to play this well, it shows that like there's no other team in the country that has this ability. This, I guess, if you want to call it the ceiling is the roof or whatever Jordan said, like that's
Mm-hmm.
what this team is. Like this team has no ceiling. Like we
Yeah,
have the ability to play better than anybody else in the country, um, and we're going to find out, right? That and
and
it
we
kind of goes back to the same thing we've said all year, right? Is that when we're playing at our A game, and that was probably our A game. Would you say that was our A game?
Of course, and you said that we'll
Right,
never hit it again. We've also this season we said we would never shoot below 30% from three again. We said we
right,
would never get out rebounded. We can say we'll never do something again. It's basketball. It will happen again. This
right.
team, there will probably be a game in like the Elite Eight once some of the pressure's off. We get past the Sweet 16 or whatever it is, and we play one of those non-pressure games. We're going to play this type of game against a quality opponent again because this team is good enough to do it. It might not be a 43-point beatdown because the other team's not. Everybody doesn't have the flu or whatever excuse everybody wants to use about it. But
Injured, flu,
we're still going to beat a team that we're not supposed to
girlfriend
beat
broke
by
up with
20.
him.
Right. There will be another 20-point win that
So
is not supposed to happen or whatever. So
Pat gives you a different look than Common does too. Like, He plays back to the basket, palms up, give me the ball. I'm going to make a quick move. If it's not there off the second move, I'm going to kick it back out for a three. So I mean, he opens up a lot of stuff that a true big, if you will, right?
Yeah. Big shout out to Sam from the Unintentional coming on.
Thank you, Sam.
He tell us that he had to drop off. So appreciate him coming on as a big Duke fan and friend of the Knipples. So appreciate him. We do have a mailbag question. The B Hodge Natty Light scoreboard mailbag.
Hodge, always a supporter.
Big supporter. The first one was, let B Hodge be a guest. Oh, sorry. No, B Hodge, you will not be a guest on the podcast. Who is the better player between Countdown to Craziness, Christian Reeves, or 1 foot out the door, Caleb Foster?
Lord.
It's kind of a joke, and to be fair to my boy Matt Lofton, he did follow that up with a better question, but it's still relating to C. Foss. And
Can I answer the first question? The answer is Syracuse Alex O'Connell.
Sheesh.
Oh, that's
the answer is always Syracuse.
What a pull. So I understand the.
You're forgetting about Summer Wendell, bro.
True, and Jay Gold.
Summer Wendell was NBA Hall of Fame.
But anyway, so it's actually a really good question. Not the Christian Reeves part, but like it's a really good question, and it's one that came up on the Discord Saturday night. That how well Caleb Foster played in his 7 minutes that he played and had 10, 12 points. Would he have 12 points?
12 points in 7 minutes. 12
points, 5 or 6 shooting.
He looked really good.
He looked really good. Didn't hesitate. And one of the things that I said, and I want to get you guys' take on this, because I know that we had the Patreon, discussion about it before the game. Maybe that's all I needed. You know what I mean? AC, maybe all he needed was just, hey, look, you're leaving? Cool. Don't worry about anything then, man. Just go out there. Here's the ball. Go out and play.
I mean,
you're already leaving, man. Like, don't worry about it. Like, just go
my
play
question
ball.
would be needed for what at this point? Like, he hasn't played a meaningful minute on this team in the last month. So my assumption is we're going to go into March without his services unless something drastic happens, like foul trouble or injury in a game. And he's a good enough player to, if that happens, then fine. He steps in and gives us a really good, highly recruited player who may or may not bring something to the team if that situation occurs. But I don't think he's a part of the rotation, quite honestly. I think
I don't either. I guess my point is, and maybe I can clarify a little bit, is as a player, right? It's just maybe that's all he needed as a player. Like, hey, look, man, you're going. Shit, let it fly.
I mean, he did it though 2 games ago against Stanford or whoever it was. Like,
Cal.
Was it the Cal game? It was one of the two. It was one of the two. But I mean, he's done this. Like, he's been in a game at the end of the game, put up a couple points, and everybody's like, oh, maybe this is the thing he needs. Sure, maybe you're right. Maybe his mind being like, this might not be the place for me next year is freeing for him or something. I don't know, but like, I guess my opinion is that's my opinion.
Fair enough. All right, that's fair.
He hasn't been a part of our rotation now
fair, yeah.
He hadn't been a part of our rotation for a month, so.
Yeah. I completely agree. I completely agree. That brings me back to is Duke that good or is Illinois that bad type of thing? Like,
I think that means Duke is that good, because if you can just replace a player like Caleb Foster like that, you're really good.
No, I'm saying the fact that Caleb Foster just came in and did that.
Sure, I mean that, but at that point, Illinois was beaten. Like, they were beaten, and so there's no, in my opinion, there's no difference.
I agree.
Yeah, there's no difference in him doing that against Illinois than against Stanford, whoever else it was.
Virginia,
so cool,
or Cal,
like,
or whatever. Yeah, I agree. I agree.
I'm happy for the kid. I'm happy for the kid to be able to put up
to see the bucket go in, right?
in the Garden. Yeah,
because like you said, we might need his services in March. You never know. Tyrese gets in foul trouble. Dion gets in foul trouble. You never know.
We played Reggie Love in meaningful tournament games in a national championship winning season. So anybody can play any minute.
I'll never not be happy for a kid scoring.
Yeah.
I just think there's an opportunity to, see the other side of the book, so to speak, I guess. You know what I mean? Like, and good for him. Like, maybe he gets a better offer going into the portal, because I'm not convinced that he's coming back to Duke.
Oh, I'm positive that he's not. But even if that was the case, though, like I guess to play, no pun intended, like devil's advocate, Jack, is that like could that be? And I was playing like this one I said in Discord, right? People should get on the Discord.
Yes, you should. It's
If
free.
if
I need to
if
get back on Discord.
if like yes you do, believe me, yes you do.
They've been asking for you.
People will be
Oh
asking,
yeah.
oh yeah.
Asking for you.
Say that.
I'm not saying it's all positive. I'm not
Ah,
saying that, but I will say that you should go in and defend yourself. Anyway, but
damn.
joking aside, what I would say is that playing armchair psychiatrist is like, you know, if you're like, hey, I don't know where I am, coach. I'm not sure I can do this, all that stuff. I think I'm gonna transfer, and he says, hey, go ahead, transfer. You send him at the end of the bench. We'll just throw you in there at the end of the game when we're already up, or heaven forbid we're already down, and then just play ball, man. Don't even worry about it. And the next thing you know, 2 of the last 3 games, you go out there and show who you really are. And then it's like, wait a minute, this is who I am. This is the reason you started for the first 5-6 games of the year. This is the reason you came back here. This is the reason that you said that you wanted to be a part of this. This is who you were last year. Why wouldn't you say, shit, I know who I am. I'm ready for the fight. I want to stay in the fight. Now, granted, it might not totally be up to him, Jack, but like, if I'm a player, I'm a competitor, I'm a dog. John only wanted dogs in his team. Like, if I'm a dog, maybe I say, you know what, fuck it. Maybe this wasn't my year. As a player, as a team we was, but like as a player, maybe I say, you know what, fuck it. I'm not leaving the fight. I'm staying in the fight. I'm a Navy SEAL this shit.
I wouldn't hate that. I really, really wouldn't
I
hate
wouldn't
that.
hate it. I wouldn't hate it either. I'm talking myself into it.
I like Caleb very much as a player, and no matter what happens, I wish him nothing but the best. I want to see him succeed. He is a dog, and sometimes like Wendell Moore had a really rough sophomore year.
A lot of players have. Clint Cook.
Tyrese had a really rough year last year. He was like a projected lottery pick going in.
He had a rough
We've talked with Andre Dawkins, and Andre Dawkins won't give himself credit for some of the games he helped Duke win in that tournament run. Like we've talked on this podcast, he has said, "I didn't do anything for the team." It's like, nah, bro. Like, what are you saying? Like, stop saying that.
I think that. Yeah, I will say I agree with you.
Guy who
Ace, I agree
mentally
with
was
you.
beat.
The self-deprecating attitude.
Let me finish real quick. Like that's a guy who mentally was beaten down at Duke. Like had the stuff happen with his family. He left the team for that 1 year to even decide if he wanted to play ever again, and then came back. Like the fact that he came back was awesome. And he came back on a team that wasn't a great team, but he still came back and
Okay,
finished.
time out. That was a great team. That team just had an early exit in the tournament.
The
only
Jabari
reason
team?
that team is not yeah.
I can't call the Jabari team a great team personally. That's all right though. We're talking about this year's team. We're talking about this year's. They were a good team. I didn't say they weren't a good team. I just said they weren't great. But we're talking about the Jabari
13-14, Jabari.
They couldn't guard a wet Powell, but we could have put a 5 together to put up 85 on that team. But it's cool. Like they would have scored 135 on us. It's all good. But either way, like we were talking about with Caleb, it's just like mentally, like you said, maybe you just needed something for your life, and I hope that's what happens for him. Whether it's at Duke, whether it's at Atlanta A&M, I don't care where it is. Like if for you, like if that helped him, awesome. Like I'm so happy for that kid because he played for Duke, worked his tail off, and whatever happens. Cool. Like I hope it did create a jumping off point for him in his life and his career, everything else, because he's a good player.
Yeah, regardless of the team, you'd love to see somebody who's struggling, like really come out and bust ass, right? No homo, like all pause or whatever, but like you really, you really want to see somebody come out there and bust some ass. Like that's what you want to do, right?
Yeah, for sure. That's what we did.
Pause if you want me to. That's fine. But no, he did.
Pablo's
his thing,
not here, bro.
And thank God. And
You're safe.
and as much criticism as I've had for Caleb all year, like I love to see it. Like regardless of who it's against, Wake Tech, Campbell, or
Mhm.
whoever. Like good shit, man. Like I'm
Yep.
happy for you. Like you needed to see the ball go in the hoop, and you did.
Yep.
So if you're here next year, let's continue this. If you're not, go get them, Tiger.
Mhm.
I mean, what else can you say?
Right.
Yeah, I completely agree with you. I mean that's kind of my point in bringing this one up. And Jack, I'll let you have the last word on it before we get to the previews. But my thing with him is, I hope that this is a Nolan Smith type of deal where you're a sophomore year, things didn't go the way you wanted to, you want to leave, and I'm not saying you need Johnny Dawkins to talk you back in because it's a different day and age and it's a different time frame. But maybe it is one of those things where it's like, hey, remember why you came to do to begin with, and why you said that this is your dream school, and just say, you know what, I'm gonna stay in the fight here.
Yeah, this is a guy. He was the first 2023 commit. Like he wanted to be here. He was ready. He's a dog. He. And I'm trying to think. I'm pretty sure he committed before Derek Lively.
I want to say
Just
Live was
to
the
put a
first.
time
I
frame.
can't remember.
It was whatever it was. Both of
Oh
them
no
were
no
like
no Phil Passy was the first.
Flip. Yeah, Flip was the
Flip,
first. But
yeah,
like, point I'm trying to make is Caleb committed to Duke while Kay was still coaching. Like that. That's a guy who knows what he wants, and like clearly he came back for his sophomore year when the entire rest of his class didn't.
yeah.
Well,
Like
he
this is a
wasn't
guy
asked
who.
to leave either.
That's also true, but he cares. He wants to be at Duke, or he at least wanted. I do not have a look inside the mind of Caleb Foster. He wanted to be at Duke. He's going to get a chance to compete. I hope he continues to do it at Duke. I would love to have him continue to be around.
AC, I say this a lot about a lot of players, about a lot of situations, but this has got to come down to let's look in the mirror moment. How bad do I want this type of
Oh
situation,
yeah,
right?
for sure, for sure,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Like,
That's
how bad do I want this? I'm Caleb Foster.
100%.
I'm
That's what
looking in
this
the
is.
mirror. How bad do I want this? Do I
Yeah.
want to be on national TV every day, the face of the Blue Devils?
Mhm.
Yes or no? Because
Exactly.
if it's yes, then get your ass in the gym and do every damn thing you can
Mhm.
to become that
Because
person.
at this
And
point,
if
it's
not,
like
then go. Then go. While your stock is high, correct?
yeah, it's
Yeah.
one of those things. It's like there that you can talk yourself into a chance that Caleb Foster finds his way in a small way back into this rotation in certain situations in the tournament. You could talk yourself into that
Sure.
based on some of these
Yeah.
games he's played, and if he takes these games that he's played and parlays that into in Coach Shire's office at 8 a.m. telling him, Coach, I'm done with this stuff I'm going through. Regardless of next
I'm ready.
year, I'm here. I'm here for this team because John has wanted it. Like the fact that he
Yeah.
struggled so much and Caleb was still a part of the rotation shows that John was trying. Like it wasn't like Shire just was like, "Yep, you're done. You can't play. You're out." He tried. He tried to the point where Isaiah Evans was not getting time on the floor because of it, and Tyrese was getting less shots because Caleb was on the floor, and essentially since he's been removed from the rotation, Tyrese has taken off. Seeing James has done ridiculous things at the point guard position.
Yeah.
Khaman Maluach has gotten more involved, and maybe some of that's all coincidental. I'm not blaming it on Caleb. I am saying the
Oh,
No,
team took. I'm saying the team took a different direction from we're trying to develop this guy and get him ready to this is who we are and this is what we're gonna do.
I've got a question, AC, and this is leading into what we're gonna get into next week, I believe. Is he not the Elliot Cadeau of UNC? I feel like when Elliot Cadeau comes off the court, UNC is a very well-rounded team.
Mm.
They play hard.
Um,
They can beat you on different angles. And
I
then
would.
when Elliot Cadeau's in the game, it's kind of one-dimensional. Gets a little slowed down, a little
I would
sloppy.
It
would
slows
not-
down for sure.
and
But
I could
Is it
answer
not the
that.
same?
Having unfortunately watched a lot of UNC games, I would say that that's not the analogy I would make because Cadeau is
Because Foster
strictly
doesn't turn the ball over.
that's true, but no, Cadeau is a strictly facilitator, and Foster he goes out there and scores, he can score.
I
So
disagree.
Can I wait? Can I just answer this question real quick?
yeah,
I think the answer to the question you asked me is I wouldn't make the apples to apples comparison to those two. Basically, I would just say you have deleted a part of your rotation and roster that wasn't working and have inserted something that is working, and so the team is playing better because of it. That's how
So-
I would answer that question.
So they're kind of the same.
Whoever situation we want to compare it to, I'm just answering the question as
I got you.
you deleted
That's
something. You
fair.
deleted something that wasn't working, and you've
Well
inserted
put.
something that was working, and that's
Well
just
put.
what has
Okay,
happened.
that's fair.
Well put.
That's a
Well
good
put.
way
what's
to
happened.
answer that.
Well put.
And I'm not trying to be unfair to Caleb. I am not
No.
saying he's not a good player. I'm not saying that he can't hack it or
Nobody
whatever
is.
else. I'm not making that assumption. I am saying that it wasn't working, and
It
something
just hit
different
me.
is working.
It just hit me. Like I was thinking about the two teams, and I'm like, damn,
No, I think that's a
Like-
fair question. I do.
it is
I-
reasonable.
they're
Yeah.
kind of the same player, but not the same
Well,
player.
and honestly,
Right.
and D, I would agree with you in the sense that I look at UNC and I say that I don't think Elliot Cadeau works for that team because they don't have shooters, they don't have certain things on the team, size, all the other stuff, and now you're just adding another player that's
and
small,
Foster
can't
is
shoot.
kind of like where
I
do you
can't
belong
shoot.
here?
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Yeah, no,
and
I
again, not
totally agree.
comparing the two players as players, just saying something's not working
Me
in their
neither.
roster and
Yeah.
it's out. And something, but it's not out because it's not out with Elliot Cadeau. He's still in the roster and they're still losing games or whatever they're going to do.
And
But
they
they're going to win
just
every game
refuse
until
to
they play
remove
us. By the way, if you
Yeah.
want to bet on UNC for the next
I
2
don't know.
weeks,
I hope they do.
I agree.
They do.
No, AC, you're
they're
not
going
wrong.
to win every game. They're going to win every game by 20. They're going to shoot 65 free throws a game. It's already happening against Florida State tonight. Like
Playing two
Cool.
garbage teams between
And
now
we're
and
gonna-
I
then.
don't
and
care
we're
who
gonna
they play.
play-
I don't care who
we'll
they
play
play.
them in the
I hope
ACC
they win
championship
every
game.
game. I hope they
Bet
win
that.
every
Book
game.
it right
North
now,
Carolina
Coach.
right now. I could just
Thank
book
you,
North
Roy.
Carolina right now.
Book that.
I
Everybody
hope
who's
that,
listening, book it.
yeah, I hope they win every game. Okay, so let's get to. We got 3 games to preview here because it's kind of a
Be quick.
compact schedule. Obviously, we play Jay Lucas's Miami Hurricanes. Maybe it's not
Chill.
his team. I'm not sure.
you think he'll go coach in the middle of the game when they start losing by 50?
But anyway, so we got his team tomorrow night. And by the way, I just want to give a shout out to Coach Lucas because all the people that are talking on Twitter are like, look, man, like we were lucky to have him for 3 years, so that's one. As great as John is, like he understood how great Coach Lucas was. So like just give credit where credit's due. Like if he goes to Miami, he goes to Miami. Like the credit to a great program, especially a young program like ours, and I know that it's Duke, right? But we're still a young program in the fact that it's John Shire's team and his program. Like if you got these people that are so good and they have to leave after 1 or 2 or 3 years, you're doing something right. Just another reason that John Shire is the best coach, AC,
Mm-hmm.
the best coach in college basketball.
He'll be the best coach to never win a National Coach of the Year award, and
Not just
probably not
Yep.
an ACC Coach of the Award either.
So
Yep.
we're going to talk about that. We're going to
I
talk about
forgot
that game.
that Bethea was local.
Not wrong.
So we're going to talk about that game. We're going to talk about Forest State and then Wake Forest, who Wake Forest. Boy. So let's start with Miami.
Yeah, I don't even know. I don't even know anymore about Wake Forest.
So let's start with Miami real quick. Everybody give a prediction and we'll move on. At Miami, AC.
85, 53. Like we're gonna shut them down defensively. I'm not whatever.
85-53. I like that.
I have no analysis.
Yeah, I'm gonna
Fuck
do 80.
Miami. That's my prediction. Fuck Miami.
All right, here we go. I'm gonna go 87-62. Jack, what do you got?
I'm going to try to be respectful because I have a friend of a friend who is an assistant coach there. So I'm going to go with 97-61.
All right. We'll keep it with you here, Jack.
Bring it under 40.
Wow.
Under
Jack,
40.
97?
They have one of the bottom 20 defenses in college basketball.
We just put up 110, and it ain't weird to say we could get it again.
Good point. Good point.
97 wouldn't be a shock.
97
Jack, I'm
is
gonna
crazy.
keep it with
That's
you here.
yeah,
I'm
okay.
gonna try to go to this game here on Saturday against Florida State. I'm trying to go to this game. Anybody who's listening here, TK needs a ticket, but I'm trying to go to the game. Florida State game, 7 p.m. Saturday night. Jack, what do you got?
I haven't watched that much Florida State this year.
They gotten better. They gotten better.
They've improved a little bit from what I've seen. Like Watkins is a good player. Taylor Bowen is a guy that Duke was briefly involved with, and he he has pretty high aspirations. I remember reading the thing he wants to be the first NBA player to ever come out of Vermont. So that's cool.
Oh, good for him.
I wish. Yeah, like I respect that. It's the only state I believe without an NBA player.
Maine doesn't have anybody drafted at least. I think Nick Kaner Medley had like he had a 10-day contract.
Determined, my friend. To be determined, my friend. They might have a generational player on their hands.
We'll find that out. But I respect
Shout out
that
to
Taylor
Bailey.
Bowen, and I really liked his game in high school. He was really interesting to watch. Leonard Hamilton's whole thing is get a guy who's like super tall for his position, but also like thin as a rail.
Yep.
I just want you guys to take a quick peek at who was putting that on the screen, TK or UAC?
It's AC.
So
where do you want to see? Where do we go?
Did you see all the people from North Carolina who's going to Miami?
Oh yeah.
Enrolled in Miami.
Yeah.
Peep, same thing. Couple North Carolina cats, Maryland cats, Georgia cats. Yeah, it's not gonna take long before. Like let's keep it a buck, man. Like
I can't even be.
We grew up in an era of where Florida State was a basketball school, correct?
It was.
AC
for a long time. I mean, they had a football run, and then they basketball was like the successful program for a minute.
You're the OG of this podcast, but we're all relatively in the same age, and we remember Florida State as a basketball school.
I mean, you had Charlie Ward, who was a Heisman candidate, who still wanted to play point guard for the basketball team.
He won the Heisman.
Sura, like all that, yeah.
I'm just saying, it looks like Florida State's a basketball team in my eyes. That's all I'm saying.
This year,
this year they're still a basketball school.
They might be a softball school this year.
This year they're still. I mean, if you want to talk about the.
All right, hold on.
All right, I think it's going to be.
Y'all force me to get off of tangent here, and it makes me look silly.
All right, hold on. I'm going to come back to you here. Hold on, Jack. What do you got?
83 to 68.
83-68. Oh my goodness.
I'm going 9. I'm going 90.
I just watched them put up 110 on a team that was top 30 in all metrics.
All right, I'm going 90 to 68.
AC, show your I don't give a fuck shirt again.
Why is that? Why are we saying I don't give a fuck? I'm rocking
advanced metrics.
I'm rocking with this team. So if Jack wants to say we're gonna score 80 on him, we're gonna score 80 on him. If he says we want to score 97 on somebody, we're gonna score 97.
Hold on. I don't want this to get misinterpreted. I'm saying 90 to 68. Go ahead, B.
Are we talking about Florida State?
Yeah.
Duke scores 80, they win. How long have I said that? Duke scores 80, they win.
And it's been true.
Not all year. The past 4 years. AC, don't laugh, motherfucker. You know it.
I'm just laughing because it's funny because you say it all the time. We know that's your catchphrase.
It's still true.
That's your catchphrase.
That is the Elam ending score. Duke scores 80. You're not beating them.
You're gonna
have to have an all-American performance out of everybody to beat Duke if they score 80.
All right, what's your score?
80 plus.
All right. AC, what do you got?
Give me. It's the front end of a Saturday, Monday. It's the last one of the season, and I think we've navigated them pretty well now. So I don't think it's going to be one of those cases where we can't prepare well for a Saturday, Monday anymore. We're going to beat the brakes off of them. 20-point victory, 88-68. I mean, that's Florida State.
Can we talk about the Saturday? I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt. I just want to talk about the Saturday Mondays at the end of the season.
What do you mean?
I like it.
We've been
Yeah,
doing
no,
Saturday. We had
yeah,
this
I
the
like it
third
too.
one
So
now.
we're,
Like,
we're yeah, we're
yeah,
gonna talk about that
This
right
is
now.
this is going to be number 3.
yeah,
Yeah,
this
we're
is the
gonna talk
third
about
one
that
now.
right.
So every year we've navigated these Saturday Mondays. The first one has been
I
rough.
love it.
The second one
I
has
love
been a
it.
little, and then the third one we've kicked everybody's ass that we played. So
I
All
we're
right,
love
ready
it
for it.
because
in which
that's
case,
NCAA shit.
Yes,
right,
I know.
Yeah,
exactly. It's
it's a
almost
good
like it's
time to
by
do it.
I
it's
love it.
almost like
I
it's
fucking
almost
love
like
it.
it's by design. Okay, here we go. So we
Almost like
have
it's by
Wake
design.
Forest at home. D, you're a huge Wake Forest fan. I know
Oh
that
yeah,
your
I'm that guy.
grandfather, you know, all
Jesus
kind of stuff.
Christ, I'm
So
getting Judas on this damn podcast tonight. No, no, yeah, my papa, R.I.P. to a real one. Love Wake Forest. I love Wake Forest. Randolph Childress is my homie. Um, if we're being honest, if we look at their starting 5, I think they have a legit top 25 starting 5. But if we break it down further, if we were a Wake Forest podcast, like their bench from 6 through 8 is terrible. True or false?
Sure.
I'd say 7 and 8. I think Juke Harris is a solid player.
I think their starting 5 is legit. They've dealt with some
Sure.
injuries. They've had some people who haven't played all season. I really like this Wake Forest team. I hope they make it in the tournament because I think they could really upset some people. But I don't think they beat Duke. I think Duke wins easily. It's probably a no contest.
If they don't beat
Can I
Duke, they
really
don't get in the
quickly say
tournament.
something about Wake? Parker Fredrickson's usage is confusing the hell out of me. I'm just looking through some of his game logs here. Like he has had like a few games here and there where he's put up like 6, 7, 8 points. Not even like 6. I think is his season high since the start of December. Sorry, yeah, on January 4th he put up 6 against State, and he's playing a few minutes, and then against
Good
SMU he
basketball
plays
team.
30 minutes and scores 18 points, and then back to against State, back to 4 minutes, 2 points. Like I don't understand why that is. Like I genuinely think that he scored more points that day against SMU than he has since the calendar turned over to 2025 in every other game combined.
That's a weird bench, though, Jack. Look at that bench.
It is. But
That's
why is
look
he
how many
suddenly
people are paying.
randomly?
Hunter Salas, 40 minutes a game, 38
Yeah,
minutes
like
a
he
game,
doesn't
37.
use
Like
we
that's
know that.
wild.
Forbes isn't using his bench.
He doesn't have a bench to use. He's got 2
I
players who
know.
would start for anybody else in the country who are injured.
Very true. It's gonna be interesting to see. I think Duke wins this one pretty handily. I think
I do too.
it's very different from the last time that Wake and Duke matched up. That was a really tough fought game.
Well,
yeah, Jack.
again, I think I think Wake's first 5 matches up with anybody in the country.
I think Wake is I think their first 5 is super burnt out though because they've been playing a lot of them have been playing 36 plus minutes every game all season, and
Exactly.
they're just running out of gas.
They're cooked. They're absolutely cooked. And they
All
don't
right,
have a true big. They don't have a true
all
big.
right, Jack. Give me a score.
Hmm. I'm a 78 to 59.
78-59. D,
It's
give
going
me
to
a
be
score.
handle win.
I think Hunter Salas and Cameron and Spillers are going to shoot their ass off in Durham.
Not
89.
Hildreth?
I said Cameron.
Oh, I think you said in Cameron.
Is it not in Cameron?
I thought you said in Cameron, not and Cameron. I said, what about Hildreth?
What's the score?
Give me a score.
89-86.
89-86. Is that what you said?
TK's
That
getting
would not be
aggravated a
great
little
for our
bit.
defense.
All right. AC, what do you got?
This is a beaten team that has no shot to make the tournament unless they beat Duke by 60. So, and that won't matter anyway in the NET. How many points they beat them by? You beat Duke and you still don't get in the tournament because of your losses. So, I think it's a beaten team who, like Jack said, is tired. They're down. Sure, shake your head. I'm done picking teams 3 points within Duke. I'm done. This is the best team in the nation. So, and same story with UNC, a beaten team. So this is a beaten team. 89-60. Gonna beat the shit out of Wake Forest.
I
Love
still want
that. I
I
got.
still want Wake Forest to perform. That's all.
All right. That's nice. Okay. I got
Look,
80.
I don't give a fuck about Wade.
All
None
right,
of
here we
them.
go.
Nobody
All
else
right.
in the.
All
I
right.
give
TK
about
is going
no
to give his
one.
prediction here real quick. I'm doing 84-67.
I am
Look,
done. I'm done. Everybody's fighting Duke. Everybody hates Duke right now. Auburn, our schedule's not hard enough.
Yeah,
The
I hate
analysts, oh, Duke's not good enough. I'm not saying you. I'm talking about the analysts. I'm talking about everybody else in the
look, I
country.
don't give a fuck. I don't give a fuck who's hating
I
on
am
us.
done
It doesn't
nitpicking this
fucking make any
team
difference.
because everybody in the country is against us, and it's at this point it is Duke versus everybody. So I don't care. I'm not predicting any more close games. I'm not predicting why Duke is gonna lose anymore. I'm not. It's done and over with. It's done and over with.
There, you heard it. You heard it there. The pipe bomb from AC. The AC pipe bomb. That's what he does because he's not talking anything but
I'm done. I
facts
don't
at this
care.
point.
I don't care. I
He's
don't care.
talking
I don't care.
facts at this fucking point. Stop talking shit. When you are looking at Duke, you're looking at the best motherfucking team in the country. Everybody
That's a
knows it.
dead ass point.
It's the best
That's
fucking team in the
facts.
country. I
That's
don't fucking
facts.
give a shit if you're in the SEC, the Big Ten, the Mountain West, the Hawaiian Conference. I don't fucking give a shit. This is the
Ken
best
Us
Palm
team in the
versus
said, "You
country.
everybody.
number one. You number one. God damn it."
It's us versus everybody. I don't care about Ken Palm. I don't care about Bart Torvik. I don't care
Ken
about
Palm's
Evan
got us
Maya.
number
I
one,
don't
man.
care. I don't care about.
I don't
Okay.
give
I
a
don't
fuck
care about
though.
Van Pelt. I don't care about Josh
It's,
Johnson. I don't care about
TK's.
Jackson. I don't care about. I don't care anymore. I don't care about Matt Norlander. I don't care about John Rothstein. I don't care about Brendan Marks. I don't care about anybody else. I don't care. I
Shout
don't
out
care
Brendan,
about.
though. Great
I
reporter.
don't care about Auburn fan 25. I don't care about Florida 5 fan who's mad that we jumped them in the rankings. I
Talk
don't
to
care
us.
about Kentucky. I don't care about Iowa State. I don't care about Kelvin Sampson in Houston. I don't care about anybody else. I don't care about the Knicks. I don't care about the Pacers. We'll beat them too if you put them in front of us. I don't care anymore, man. I don't care. I'm not picking against this team ever again. I don't care. I
Talk
don't
to
care.
him. Talk to him.
I
I
don't
love
care.
that shit.
I don't give a
AC.
fuck.
Love
Thank
that
you
I
guys
shit.
for checking us out. Be sure to subscribe on YouTube as well as wherever you get your podcasts.
Bang,
Check us out on
motherfucker,
socials.
bang.
Subscribe to the Patreon. And you guys know the deal. Let's go, Duke.
Let's
We would
go.
beat we would beat Manchester United in soccer if we played soccer. I don't
Dead
care.
ass.
I don't care. I don't
That's
care.
crazy.
I don't care.
Let's go, Duke.
I don't give a fuck.